Hi. Real quick before we start the video, I want to mention that a new chapter of my webcomic went up on my webcomic channel. It went up like 2 weeks ago, but I forgot to announce it on this channel. So yeah, there's a link in the description if you want to read it. Okay, now on to the video. Hello everyone! In this week's video, I'm drawing my sister's original character. Last year I made a video of me drawing my sister Reagan's original character Lily. I did this as a birthday present for her. It is now again my sister's birthday month, and it seems like she wants me to draw Lily again as her birthday gift. She had mentioned how I did this last year and how the picture I created isn't correct now because Lily's design has changed. In case you didn't see last year's video, I will introduce you to Lily. Name Lily Anna Miyazaki. Age 14. Lily is extroverted and has a slight temper. She gets very lazy when she is bored. Lily and her twin brother Logan like to make music together. So let's start drawing Lily. So here is my super rough sketch. When I was asking Reagan about Lily, she mentioned that she is learning how to play the guitar. So I thought it'd be fun to include that into the illustration to give it another element to make it kind of interesting. I was looking around on Pinterest for a pose inspiration. I found this one of a girl resting her arm on the guitar. I thought it was kind of neat, so I took inspiration from it. Instead of having both arms be on the guitar, I am having the right hand make a peace sign. My sister Reagan often draws Lily doing this, so I thought I would also draw her in this kind of pose. The right leg was giving me a little bit of trouble. At first I was trying to draw it bent, but it kept looking kind of awkward and wasn't looking quite right. So I decided to kind of have her stick her leg out instead. Like I mentioned earlier, Lily's design has changed since the last time I drew her. The most major change is that she no longer has wolf ears and a tail. My sister has a bunch of OCs with animal characteristics. She created them when she was pretty young. One day she was expressing how she kind of doesn't like the ears anymore and that they are kind of a pain to draw. So I asked her, well, are the fact that they are animals important to the story at all? And she said no, it had no effect on the story. So I said, well, just get rid of them then. If you don't like drawing them and they don't have any play in the story, why force yourself to draw them? So yeah, all of her characters lost their animal ears. My sister seemed really pleased with that decision because she was able to make the hair however she wanted, and she could make them wear whatever she wanted because she didn't need to work around the ears and the tail. So after doing my first pass with my cleanup sketch, I did another pass to make it even cleaner, and now I'm working on the line art. I'm mostly using the rough pencil tool to make my lines a bit softer, but I did use the G pen for Lily's hair. Lily has dark hair, so by using the G pen it makes it easier to fill in the hair with color later because it makes really nice clean lines. When I used textured brushes like the rough pencil tool, it's a bit more work to fill in the areas with dark colors because the colors don't like to go into the texture of the brush. So yeah. Speaking of Lily's hair, it has also changed a bit. It used to be a short bob that kind of curved up at the ends. Now it's a bit longer and it no longer does the curving up thing. She also tucks one side of her hair behind her ear. I think her hairstyle is really cute and it's a lot of fun to draw. I had so much fun drawing it. For Lily's outfit, my sister said I could make her wear whatever I wanted. However, I decided to mostly go with the outfit my sister designed for her. I did slightly tweak it a little bit. I decided to make the t-shirt cropped, that way there is a bit of variation in the outfit because we have the looseness of the t-shirt and then the sweater is a bit tighter, but then we also have the looseness of the pants. According to Reagan, Lily doesn't like wearing super tight clothes, so that's why she's wearing all of the looser clothes. I asked Reagan how she felt about the cropped t-shirt, and she really liked it. She actually said that she was thinking about making the t-shirt cropped, so it all worked out. Also, I've never drawn an acoustic guitar before, so this was kind of a challenge. I was looking at a lot of different references. Sorry if it's not 100% accurate. I tried my best. I think the hardest part was adding the strings, but I do that a little later. You know, now that I think about it, I should have borrowed my brother's guitar. That would have been a really good reference. I just remembered that he has one. Well, I don't need it now. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes. These classes can help you explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. Skillshare has classes on illustration, animation, fine art, digital drawing, watercolor painting, and so much more. One class you may be interested in is Design a Female Character, Exploring Copic Markers by Gabrielle Brickey. In this class, Gabrielle explores using Copic markers. They are alcohol-based markers, so they are super smooth and blendable too. Using grid Copic markers, Gabrielle shows you how you can add another layer of depth to your art. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and they're always launching new premium classes, so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. Plus, it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. However, you can try Skillshare for free. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership, so you can explore your creativity. So go try Skillshare today. So after finishing the line art, I filled in the base colors, and now we are on to the shading. In last year's video, I colored the picture traditionally with Copic markers. That way I would have a physical gift to give to my sister. This time around, I'm going to get the art printed as a poster. I think I'm going to get it printed at my local Walmart. Hopefully it'll turn out good. I've never gotten posters from them. At this moment, I don't know if the poster will be done in time for me to show in the video. So I may show it in the video, but I may not be able to. We'll see. Right now I am shading her t-shirt, and this took me way longer than it should have. For some reason I was having a really hard time getting it to look how I wanted. This shirt has so many layers clipping to it because I kept painting over it to change and adjust the shading. At first the shading was looking a little too harsh, like I was making it dark on purpose to then lighten it later, but it's like the edges looked a little bit too harsh. And it was kind of looking like the shirt was made out of a shiny material. So I was trying to make it look softer and like it was made more of a cottony material. Thankfully, shading the striped sweater went smoothly. To make things easier, I used one shading color set to multiply for all of the stripes instead of shading them individually. I did use different highlight colors for the cream stripes and the dark stripes because the same highlight color wouldn't really work for those. Also, my sister slightly changed Lily's colors. In the last video, a lot of people commented on how Lily looked Christmassy because of the red and green color palette. Reagan didn't really want people to get Christmassy vibes from her, so she changed the colors to be more of a dark red and a more yellowy green. And I do feel like it looks a lot less Christmassy now. I personally don't really think Christmassy when I look at it. I do really like the colors. I think they look nice together. Shading the pants was a lot of fun. I was trying my best to make them look loose. I also added some textures to them to make them look more like jeans. Oh, and now I'm adding the shoelaces. To do this, I turn on the layer effect that gives everything I draw an outline. I actually use multiple layers when I do this. That way the laces all look separate and don't all mush together. The first layer goes back and forth, and I alternate between going under and over the shoe flaps. Then I make another layer and have it do the same thing, but on the opposite sides. Then I make a third layer for the bow. I repeated the same process for the second shoe. Because it was turned, it was giving me a bit more trouble than the first shoe. For shading the hair, I'm using the method I mentioned in my 6-character fan art video. I started by using the thin gouache brush and add a lighter color to all of the areas I want to be defined. This helps define the shape of the hair and also give it more detail. I lower the opacity of the layer to make it not as strong, and I also fade it out with a soft eraser. I really like this method of shading because it's pretty simple to do and it doesn't take too long, but it also looks kind of detailed, so it's a nice balance, I think. Also, Reagan mentioned that Lily's hair is more of a bluey black instead of a brownish black, so I used shades of blue for the highlights. Lily's eyes are red, but my sister has changed them to make the red a bit more muted and not so bright. She overall made Lily's eyes darker, so they are almost like a dark brown, but they go to a reddish color instead of a brownish color. I had to be careful when adding the highlights because I didn't want to make them look too red, so I didn't add my usual oval highlight at the bottom of the iris. Because it was making the eye a little bit too red. So lastly, I'm working on the guitar. I added a bit of shading to the different parts like the wood, the handle, and the shiny turny bits that tune the guitar. I really liked shading those were fun. Like I mentioned, one of the hardest parts was adding the strings. I noticed that the string holder thingies at the bottom of the guitar weren't lined up correctly, so I had to change those later. It was mostly tricky trying to line up the strings and make them not look awkward and go where they are supposed to. Also, I made the lines different line widths because guitar strings vary in size, so I tried to include that detail. Thankfully, the guitar turned out better than I was expecting. I was really nervous about the guitar, so I'm pleased. Yay! After mostly finishing Lily, I made a new canvas and moved her into it. This canvas is the size that the poster will be. At first I did have that green box as the background, but Reagan really likes pink, so I decided to include some pink in this picture. Plus I wanted to avoid adding the box because when you add a box to a picture that's being printed, if the print is slightly off you can really tell because the box won't be completely in the middle. So yeah, I decided not to include a box. Oh, also, I added a bit of pink rim lighting to make Lily pop a little bit and also add a little bit of pink to her color palette. I also added another highlight to her hair. It wasn't looking quite shiny enough, so I decided to make it a little bit more shiny. So here's the finished picture of Lily. I hope you like your Reagan. I love you so much, and I'm so happy to have you as my sister, and happy birthday. So that is all for this video, but before we end it, I want to say thank you to my wonderful patrons for helping support this channel. It means so much to me. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all next week in my next video. Bye!